readers of the Scaliger history version enthusiastically quote so-called ancient books, but only when they were carefully edited by their friends, the Jesuit and Benedict monks, who gave them a hand and edited the books to fit the agenda of Scaliger and Petavius. That is why, when genuine and unedited ancient books surface, they're unwelcome because they're uncomfortable. I was able to trace any information about only 34 out of the supposedly few hundred tablets that have been found in Romania. These are the so-called Sinai tablets. The original tablets were made of gold. However, King Carol I in 1875 needed the gold and ordered exact copies to be made out of cheaper material. This is well documented. They were carefully kept in a monastery, but once the current Romanian government managed to take a hold of them, they were immediately declared as not a genuine and locked up, denied any access and even inventory. The reason for categorizing them as non-historic documents was their looks. They did not look old enough to be manufactured in 1875. For example, these items from the treasury of Tutankhamun look to the so-called historians to be older, well over 3,000 years. However, the Dacian tablets do not look old enough for them to be made in 1875. And so, on the basis of their young looks, the tablets are absolutely denied any study. Access to them is banned, and they're slowly disappearing. And this is the way, this is the standard procedure to deal with artifacts, with the books that are not comfortable to the Scaliger version of history. Actually, the Dacian Sinai tablets are a very small tip of the iceberg. What to speak of few tablets? The full cities of the Dacian kings stay absolutely unexplored, buried in the ground. The excuse for not making any excavation is the lack of funds. However, that very same, supposedly poor Romanian government has spared quite few millions to buy back artifacts that were stolen from those unprotected archaeological sites by evil foreigners who come there and illegally dig up the artifacts. And listen to this full joke. After spending all these millions and buying the artifacts on auctions and other ways, they were carefully collected together and declared as forgery and locked up. And as of today, the villagers who reside nearby the archaeological sites of the cities of the real kings of Dacia, they often see mysterious vehicles, cars with foreign numbers who dig and find things very easily. Apparently, they come already very well informed where to dig to find what they want. Well, no wonder that Romania is yet another country where the local people simply do not believe the official history that they are being taught in school. In the description of this video, there is a list of links. If you click on number 2, you can listen to an interview by a real Romanian telling us about these problems. And if you click on number 1, that would be more information on the Dacian Sinai tablets. In very similar situation is the Rohong Codex from Hungary. It is declared absolutely unreadable. All suggested translations are quickly rejected. And I read some amazing stuff about it even. The so-called historians are trying to convince us that this is so unreadable that maybe it is not even a book. Probably it is just illustration with strange signs besides them. And not only books. Such so-called unreadable writings are found on a number of temples all around Europe, and there is no end to the explanations given to them. Like, for example, oh, well, this is not really writing. These were some special signs that the carpenters and stonemasons were using to mark their, materials. It's not really writing. At this point, the believers in the Scaliger version of history will probably object me and will say, no, it is not true that we do not respect the older books. There are really ancient books that have reached us in original and did not undergo any edition by monks. And these are the Vinduland tablets found in England and the Oxyrhynchus papyri found in Egypt. You can find out more about these truly old manuscripts in respectively links number 3 and 4 in the description. Let's see of what value, of what use can they be in determining our real history. First of all, the Vinduland tablets. Fortunately, they are available online in a very neat way. A photo of the tablet and a transcription and translation next to it. There is no text that could be particularly relevant to the history, the way we are examining it, in the collection that is available online. In case there were tablets that were dealing with the history, they are not available to the public. In case I'm missing out something important from these tablets, please contact me at the email that you see on the screen so that I can provide correct information in my videos. And now, let's go to Oxyrhynchus papyri. The situation here is different. This is a truly massive and huge collection of manuscripts, and they definitely contain historic topics. However, I could not find them available in a neat form. That means the photo of the manuscript and the translation next to it. In case somebody is able to point out how the original content, I'm underlining original and not some sort of interpretation, how the original content can have something to do with the version of history that I'm presenting within this video, please kindly contact me at the email provided here so that I can present only truthful information to my listeners. In 2013, entire streets of Roman London were excavated. We hear from the newspapers that some 10,000 artifacts were unearthed. I don't know what is the situation now, but some 1 year after they were taken out, still we had photos of only 5 of them. I wonder why they were not in a hurry to show us what were these 10,000 objects. Some newspaper articles mentioned that written tablets were also amongst the findings. Where are they? Why haven't we seen them yet? Maybe because they have still not finished their new frisure in the Scalinger beauty parlors. The chain of frisure and beauty parlors of Scalingear is an international enterprise that can alter any old finding beyond recognition to suit the fabricated history. All items are suitable for such a beautification. Some artifacts just don't fit so dramatically the Scalingear history that they are simply unfit for public view, and they're being locked up in the cellars of the museums, and no wonder all of the museums in the world display an average of 15% only of their artifacts, and the rest is not available for public and for researchers. As a routine part of his work, the astronomer Robert Newton takes some old historic data of the movements of the moon, and much to his surprise discovered that the moon behaved very strange and very erratically for a certain period in the past, and then it simply stopped and started behaving again according to the law of physics the way we know them. That was quite a problem, and a special big international conference was summoned in London with the biggest brains in this field. And the conclusion of the conference was that these strange erratical movements were due to some absolutely unknown to us energy that was affecting the moon for a certain period of time only, and then it stopped affecting it, disappeared, and we know absolutely nothing about it. However, Anatoly Fomenko had the feeling that the forces behind these things are not that mysterious and maybe could be explained. And he took to the task of looking into the matter. While examining the historic records of the lunar eclipses that were used by Robert Newton, he discovered discrepancies in the way that these eclipses were placed on our current historic timeline, and the problem was that this placement was according to their relative time according to historic events. In more simple words, the old records of the eclipses were absolutely correct. However, nowadays we have placed them on wrong dates. The theory of Fomenko was confirmed by the fact that when he placed the lunar eclipses in their correct position, then all of a sudden the moon started behaving absolutely normally according to all laws of physics, and there was no mystical energy at all. And at this point, the Scaliger international chain of historic frisue parlors for artifacts started getting in trouble because Anatoly Fomenko started applying his newly discovered knowledge and algorithms to calculate not only the correct movement of the moon, but also the correct timing of the historic events. What he found out was absolutely shocking even for himself. Many of the historic events were artificially sent to the past, some of them with over 1,000 years. His further work started revealing that not only sending back in time, but also monstrous distortion of historic truth was going on. He spent long years of his life trying to recreate the real history, and it was well worth it. Few million people in Russia nowadays read and accept his books as the real history of their country and the world, although the history he suggests is unimaginably different from what we have learned in school. Many of the well-educated people in Russia respect and believe Fomenko. Just one example is Garry Kasparov, chess grandmaster, world chess champion, writer, political activist, considered by many to be the greatest chess player of all time. I personally don't agree with some small details in the reconstructed history of Fomenko, and so does he. That is his personal opinion. He himself says, I'm sure I have made some mistakes in the reconstruction. However, his overall timeline is absolutely 5,000 times more correct than the official history of Scaliger.
It's the heartbeat of the universe, it's the silence in our soul, it's the joy that makes every moment new, it's the bliss when we are whole. It's the heartbeat of the universe, it's the silence in our soul, it's the joy that makes every moment new, it's the bliss when we are whole. It's the heartbeat of the universe, it's the silence in our soul, it's the joy that makes every moment new, it's the bliss when we are whole. It's the heartbeat of the universe, it's the silence in our soul, it's the joy that makes every moment new, it's the bliss when we are whole.